What kind of situation could be normal for men, but weird for women? Wearing the same outfit to a number of formal events in a row without anyone noticing/commenting. Me and my ex went to 3 weddings in one summer a couple of years ago. He wore the exact same suit/shirt/tie to all of them. No one said anything. I wore the same dress twice. I wasn't spending money on 3 dresses, and a couple of people not only noticed, but made comments about it. I was just thinking this about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I keep reading comments about how she wears the same thing over and over again. I'm pretty sure Harry wears the same blue suit, not literally, but they all look the same, to events. No one says anything about him. But there's such a focus on what Meghan wears. Like if someone has a style that suits them, then of course they'll stick to it. You have people complaining that she wears the same things, but you know that if she didn't, then people would say she's materialistic and wasteful. There's no winning in this situation, sad face. It is not uncommon to rip a big fart in the men's room. My wife tells me this would be a serious breach of etiquette for women. I don't get it. If you are not allowed to fart in a bathroom, where the hell are you supposed to do it? You do it, but don't leave the stall. I did this with a coworker once a long while back. We both ripped one. Neither one of us wanted to leave first. I was like, I'll leave first. She was like, okay. She knows my voice. I know her voice. We both know what happened, but what happens in the bathroom stays in the bathroom. Okay. Men will do it standing next to each other at a urinal and follow up with something witty like somebody stepped on a duck. Personally, I'm not a barbarian, so I always use a stall so I can wipe myself dry. I heard a guy say, bless you one time. I lost it. Taking your shirt off in public. I long to be free. To be fair, in most situations it is very trashy for guys to do this. Unless you are at a beach, pool, or some kind of water, put a shirt on. That being said, it's a dumb law. Joking in a mean/funny way with one another. My male colleagues joke all the time, calling each other fat, short, weak, etc. If I said something like that to another woman, I think she would be shocked and hurt. This is the other way round in Asia, I guess. Women are expected to be made fun of our height, weight, skin tone, fashion sense, and we are not supposed to be mad, while men never have to take this kind of bullshit. I grew up in the US, but my mom is from Taiwan and has always been very much like this toward my sister and I, making critical comments about pretty much everything to do with our physical appearance. And she'd never say things in a nice or neutral way either, but would just say straight up that my outfit or makeup was ugly, or tell my sister she was fat. I get that she just wanted to help us, but it was always in such an unnecessarily mean way. A heavy object needing to be moved from one place to another and everyone just standing around looking at you like some kind of idiot until you do it for them. Oh man, as a woman I'm on the other side of that annoyance. Quickest way to get me to lift something is to tell me to let the guys do it. I get frustrated where people will say you can't lift it, let someone else, like they know my capabilities better than me and won't let me test it myself. 90% of the time I can lift it. I'll be damned before I stop trying to help. Or when you pick it up yourself and some guy tries to snatch it out of your hands, especially a guy in worse shape than you are. Or not only in worse shape, but in terrible form. It's always a lift with their back while twisting. Ugh, makes me cringe. Oh, I'm not sure, but I believe loud grunting takes care of the bad form. Walking around in public with visible leg or armpit hair. I wish the stigma wasn't so strong. But whenever I see an article trying to celebrate a woman for bucking the pressure to shave, 99.99% of the comments are about how gross and nasty she is for daring to wear a tank top without shaving her pits. Cracks me up when people start talking about hygiene. Somehow that only applies to women. Isn't even true anyway. Nothing unhygienic about body hair, unless you don't wash yourself. IDK if anyone's mentioned camping. I know many women enjoy camping, including me, and I think this example is BS. But every time I go alone, or with another female, both of us under 30, someone inevitably voices concern, or pleasant surprise, or our bravery or outdoorsiness and wonders if I need help pitching my tent. Sometimes it's common neighborly, camperly, goodwill, but often it's due to simply assuming we are less capable, or not naturally suited to it, or wondering why the terrors of the world don't keep us from being independent and male escort. Eating out alone. Women are expected to be so collective and fearful that many of my friends wouldn't dare go to a restaurant alone, and I get weird looks when I do. I bring this up because just today, I forgot to pack my lunch for work, and I was craving Chinese food. Went over to the local Chinese place and asked for a table for one. Immediately the Chinese man says, "You're eating alone. So independent. That's good." Like, what do I say to that? Thanks pal, I'm trying to eat lunch like every other regular human. There were tons of men eating alone on their lunch break, same as me, but no one makes awkward ass comments to them. Another time I was studying for finals. Went to the local Mexican restaurant alone, so I could hide out in a booth with my textbook and some chips and salsa. The entire wait staff starting talking about me in Spanish, not knowing that I understood. They were like, "Doesn't she have a man? How weird. Who does she think she is?" Then there's the issue of guys thinking that because you're out alone, you're looking to pick up a date. No. I try to bring a book with me, usually to clue everyone in that I'm just there to eat and read in peace. Nope. Immediately getting hit on. Should I sit at the bar? Men would interpret that as me being thirsty. Should I get a table for one? Get weird looks from waitstaff and judgmental moms with families. Waitstaff gets mad I'm using up a table for just myself. Can't win. Because single women are supposed to never go out, sit at home, and be terrified of judgment or cake. I once went to Cracker Barrel alone in high school, and I thought the waitress was either going to break down in tears or try to adopt me. Every time she came by my table she would bring it up, and then when I got my check I noticed I'd been charged for a kid's meal or a side or something. Don't remember exactly what, but it was maybe $5 instead of the pancakes, bacon, and hot chocolate I'd ordered. She absolutely had good intentions, but it frustrated me so much to have a huge deal made out of it. And it wasn't like I was one of those high schoolers that look about 10 years old. I was a senior and looked old for my age. Only spending any substantial amount of time with their kid on the weekends. Men say all the time that they babysit their kids. Like, "Oh, I have to get home to babysit the kids. My wife has a thing tonight." Women cannot say that. One of my coworker's wife is out of town for the weekend, and he is majorly stressing out about having to babysit their kids while she's gone. He even made her put everything he needs to know in a spreadsheet. Those shirts with pin-up type women barely dressed, and or the stupid sticker usually seen on giant trucks of a woman's big tit silhouette. That's normal, or a brand. If a woman wore a shirt with a nearly naked dude on it, or had a sticker on her car of a naked guy silhouette, that would be weird. In essence, appreciating the female form is widely accepted, whereas the opposite does not apply. When talking about how he should conduct himself with the new female friends he wants to make, after cheating in mine just weeks ago, I asked him if he'd make it a point to tell her he was married. His response: "That's weird to tell someone. Maybe this isn't strictly a gender issue, maybe it's just a cheating douchebag issue. But I personally feel like there's a lot of pressure on me to immediately tell a man that I'm married, regardless of whether or not he notices my wedding ring." I work with mostly all men in a production setting. They joke about farting all of the time, like constantly, but if I do they all think it's gross. Walking down a street at night, alone, without worry. As a man, I don't feel safe at night either. What man can do that? An old? Not saying this only applies to my gender, as I haven't spoken to anyone about it. But when I walk up a flight of stairs, and there's a girl there as well, I always look straight down at the floor just in case they thought I was checking them out. Might just be an anxious thing, but IDK. Seeing each other pee. Were urinals 99% of the time. The men using them keep their eyes straight or down. Very careful not to seem like you're checking out the other dude's package. Only spending any substantial amount of time with their kid on the weekends. Men say all the time that they babysit their kids. Like, "Oh, I have to get home to babysit the kids. My wife has a thing tonight." Women cannot say that. One of my coworker's wife is out of town for the weekend, and he is majorly stressing out about having to babysit their kids while she's gone. He even made her put everything he needs to know in a spreadsheet. Yeah, this was how it was for my family growing up. My dad would work all week and go straight to the basement after work. Mom was always with us though, taking care of us and taking us places. It's nice to see that this is changing for a lot of families in today's world, but I'm sure it's still pretty common.